Hi there. So in this video, we're going to take a look at Module 51, which is about utility maximization, which is a fun little subject. So I hope you've had a chance to take a look at the lecture first, and then we'll do these practice together. It says, explain why a rational consumer who has diminishing marginal utility for a good would not consume an additional unit when it generates negative marginal utility, even when that unit is free. And so they would not, or we could say they wouldn't, right? Because the negative marginal utility means they are less satisfied. So it doesn't even matter if the good's free, you'd have to pay them in order to compensate them for the unpleasantness of the experience, right? You know, it's like, you've ever heard somebody say, you'd have to pay me to do that. Well, that's the idea. You know, if you have negative marginal utility from doing that, you have to pay me. Number two, in the following two examples, find all the consumption bundles that lie on the consumer's budget line. And again, budget line isn't something we talked about in the lecture, but it is in this module. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these. You're probably not gonna see too many questions though that ask you to draw budget lines and things like that. Illustrate the consumption possibilities in a diagram and then draw the budget line through them. So it says the consumption bundle consists of movie tickets and buckets of popcorn. And so you could either buy one or the other. Price of tickets are 10, buckets of popcorn 5, consumers' income's 20. In your diagram, put movie tickets on the vertical and buckets on the horizontal. So something like that, and it said popcorn horizontal. This makes me want to go to the movie theater. I'm so bummed out. I used to like to go to the movies. All right, now, and it says you have 20 bucks. So if your income's 20, what's the maximum number of movie tickets you could buy? Well, you could buy 2 tickets, right? So you could buy 2 tickets because they're $10 a piece. And how many buckets of popcorn could you buy? Well, you could buy 4, okay? And if you bought 1 ticket, right, that reduces your number of popcorn buckets, gets you down to 2, because you can't buy both of those, right? You know, so you're thinking about these options here. You could buy this one, or this one, or this one. That's pretty much it. And those are the ones where they actually use your entire budget. And then we draw a line through it. Done. And then part B, so that was A. And so B is the same kind of problem. Underwear and socks. Oh, that's worse. And it wants us to put socks on vertical and underpants down here. It's a little hard to see there, sorry. And it says socks are $2 and your income's 12. So you could buy a maximum of 6 socks. And how many pairs of underwear could you buy? Well, if underwear's 4 and your income's 12, that means you could buy 3 underwears. Okay. So what happens if we bought 2 pairs of underwear? Well, if you bought 2 underwears, then that's $8. So that leaves you $4 out of your budget left. And so how many pairs of socks could you buy for $4? Well, you could buy 2 of those. So 2, you could do 2 and 2. But if you bought 1 pair of underwear, then that cost you 4, and that leaves you 8. And so you are left with 4 pairs of socks that you can buy. And then we draw a line through those, and we call it good. Okay, now it says in the table 5.1, you can see marginal utility per dollar on clams and on potatoes are equal when Sammy increases from 3 to 4 clams and consumption from 9 to 10. Explain why this is not optimal. Illustrate your answer using a budget line like figure 51.3. So we're going to go up 51.3. Okay. So the optimal number is 2 clams and 6 potatoes. If you take a look further and they just highlight it for you. But the question said, hey, you notice this one, if you have like right here is 0.75 to go from 3 to 4, and it's 0.75 to go from 9 to 10. And it's like, why is that not the right answer, right? Why is that one not good? And the simple explanation is Sammy doesn't have enough money. If he had enough money, that would be the right, that'd be the right one. And it says illustrate it using the figure 51.3. So like it basically it's out here. So the simple would be, right, Sammy has like all these combinations of, I don't know, clams. That's weird. Clams and potatoes. I'm allergic to shellfish, but that, even if I wasn't, that sounds gross. So like that would be out here at this, and that's an impossible point because he doesn't have that kind of impossible. That is totally impossible. No, it's spelled right. I had a brain fart. Okay, moving on. Done with number 3. Let's take a look at the multiple choice problems. MC number 1. Generally, each successive unit of a good consumed will cause marginal utility to decrease because the idea is diminishing marginal utility. You could also, I could see like it would also be increase at a decreasing rate. It depends on what range of the consumption you're in. And in fact, the way I'm reading this, I bet that they're probably going to say B is the correct answer because like you think about a good like donuts. If you said you give me 6 donuts right in front of me, you give me the first one, I'm going to like that one a lot. It's going to add 10 to my marginal utility. You give me the second one, I'm going to like that one too because I love donuts. So it would be like plus 8 because I'm not going to like it as much as the first one. The second one I'm going to like a lot. So it's still an increase, but I don't like the way they're saying marginal utility to increase at a decreasing rate. The way that question is phrased is phrased poorly. I'm going to try to change the wording of that question a little bit to make it really clear which one is the right answer of those two. But I bet that what the test writers or the question writers wanted was B. Because it's still a positive number, but it's going from like 10 to 8 to 6 to 3 to 2, that kind of thing. Assume they're two goods, X and Y. Go to X costs 5, Y costs 10. If your income's 200, which of the combinations is on the budget line? Okay, so the first one, 18 of Y, 18 times is 180. That's not on the budget line. 0 of X and 20 of Y. 20 times 10 is 200. That's on the budget line. So B is the correct answer. The others, C is you still have money left over. D, I don't know, it's 5 times 10 is 50. And then, so D, you still have money left over. So the only one that's actually on the line is B. Number 3, or the only one which uses your whole budget is the other way to say that. The optimal consumption rule states that total utility is maximized when all your income is spent and the marginal utility per dollar is equal for the goods. And so that would be answer A, MU over P. Number 4, consumers spending all their income receiving 100 utils from A and 80 from B. If the last price of A is 2 and B is 1, to maximize, what should they do? Okay, so this one is going to be, you're getting 100 from A. So this is the A side. You're getting 100, and then the cost of A is 2. And what we want is these two to be equal. And so you're getting 80 from B, and the cost of B is 1. Can't read. So 50 and 80. So 80 is bigger than 50. So your little Pac-Man mouth should eat more of B and less of A. So more of B is B. I see what they did there. Number 5. The optimal consumption bundle is always represented by a point on the budget line. So that would be D. That would be D. All right, now let's take a look at free response number 2. And this will be our last practice problem. Assume you have an income of 100, the price of X is 5, the price of Y is 20. Draw a budget line with X on horizontal and Y on the vertical. That's nice. Correctly label the horizontal and vertical intercepts. Oh my gosh, so pedantic sometimes. So this is good X, and this is good Y. And it's like the price of it's 5 and 20. Okay. And so your income is 100, so price of X is 5. So the most of X's that you could consume would be 20. And the most of Y's are 5. Oh, that actually, I drew that and I didn't even know it was going to look like that. With your current consumption bundle, you receive 100 utils from your last unit of X and 400 of Y. Are you right? Let's see. So 100 from X. So basically, this is the same problem as before. And 400 from Y. And how much does the X cost? X costs $5 and Y costs $20. So that's 20, and we want these to be equal, and so that's 2 goes into 42 times. Oh, they are equal. Look at that. Would you look at that? You are all good. And you could say yes, because 20 equals 20. That's your explanation. What will happen to the total marginal utility you consume if you decide to consume more of good X? So the total utility, so this is, I'm just making sure I'm labeling all of this. This is B and this is C. If we consumed more of X, then the total utility would decrease because we maximize it at this point. And the marginal utility from X would also decrease because the next unit of whatever you're consuming always gives you less marginal utility than the previous unit. Okay, so hopefully this helped you. I will see you next time.